Okay, boys and girls, we're going to try to pick up with this one where the last one left off. We've been adding fractions with unlike denominators. Let's put one more of these back up and take a look and review that right quick. This time I've got 4/5 plus 5/6. I want you to go ahead and write that one down first thing. Pause your video, work it out, see what you can come up with, come back and check it in a moment. Again, my two denominators, 5 and 6. I must find a new denominator that is the same thing. If I do my least common multiple of these two numbers, I'm not going to do that this time. You should be able to do that. My least common multiple of 5 and 6 is going to be 30. So now I come back and do my equivalent fractions. 5 times 6, and then 6 times 5. So this is what I'll come up with right here. 4 plus 5, that'll give me 49 over 30. Again, I should recognize improper fraction. I must go back and simplify this by dividing the denominator in the numerator. My remainder goes up top. My divisor of 30 becomes my denominator. My answer is 1 and 19/30. If you have that answer, you're doing very well. You're doing very well. Okay, let's go ahead and add a little bit more to the mix here. Let's try this. Now, I want you to go ahead and work this one out on your own. I think we've done enough of these by now. I think you can try this right away. 2 2/3 plus 3 1/2. Write it down, pause your video, go ahead and do that. Come back in just a minute and we'll take a look at it. All right, again, I must change and have like denominators in both places. Using 3 and 2, my new denominator will become 6. Do my equivalent fraction. So I'll have 4/6 plus 3/6. That will give me an answer of 7 over 6. Do not forget your whole numbers over here. Now I kind of left them out of the way right now, but that'll give us the whole number over here of 5. Improper fraction, 7 over 6. I have to change that. Cannot leave it in that form. If I do that, 7 over 6 will turn into 1 and 1/6. Now I need to go back and add my whole number of 5 to that. So if I add 5 plus 1 and 1/6, then my final answer will be 6 and 1/6. That's what this one should look like, 6 and 1/6. Take a look at that one for a minute. If you need to pause it and stare at it, play it back a time or two, that's fine. Nobody else will know. Take a real hard look at that because that's what's coming up next. All right, here's your next one that I want you to do. Okay, 3 3/5 plus 5 1/2. Write that one down, pause, work it out, come back and let's check it. All right, once again, two denominators, 5 and 2. That's going to give you a new denominator of 10. New denominator of 10. If I do my equivalent fraction, that'll give me 6/10. If I do it here, 5/10. 6 plus 5 will give me 11/10. My whole number turns out to be 8. Simplify this one. So 11/10 turns into 1 and 1/10. And I'm going to add this 8 to it right here. So 8 plus 1 will give me 9 and 1/10. Now I hope that didn't mess you up good. 8 plus the 1 and 1/10 will give me 9 and 1/10. Go back and replay that if you need to. Now let's look at one a little bit differently this time. Write this one down, work it out, come back and check and see what you'll end up with. All right, in this case, my new denominator is going to be 20. It'll be 20. If I do equivalent fraction, I'll get 27 over 20. My whole numbers will be 8. 20 into 27. One and 7/20 there. I've got the whole number of 8 right here. So we'll add this back to it. My final answer, of course, 9 and 7/20. 9 and 7/20. If that's what you've got, you do a good job on that. Okay. Now this one I've purposely written this way. Both of these are not in simplest form, but I want us to do that for a reason. Write this one down, change your denominators, work it out, pause, come back and let's look at it. New denominator in this case is going to be 12. So if I do my equivalent fraction, this time I get 14 over 12. Whole numbers end up again will be 8. Must be stuck on the same thing. 14 over 12. Remember back to a previous video lesson. This one, these are both even numbers. Cannot leave them that way. So I need to reduce it by 2 over 2. If I do that, I will have 7 over 6. Now I have an improper fraction. Cannot leave it like that. I must divide it out. So I get 1 and 1/6. My whole number here was 8. 8 plus the 1 and 1/6. Answer will be 9 and 1/6. 9 and 1/6. If that's what you came up with on that one, then you're okay there. Okay, one more on this one to close it out. So I'll just scratch that one. Not the one I meant to put up, sorry. That's 5 and 5/7 plus 6 and 3/4. Write that one down, work it out. A pause, come back in and let's check it. All right, 7 and 4. A little bit larger numbers this time. My denominator will become 28. 28. If you've done your least common multiple, that's what you'll finish up with. Do my equivalent fraction here. Equivalent fraction here. Now I get 41 over 28. 5 plus 6 will give me 11. 28 will go into 41. And one time, with the 13 left over. If I add that back together over here, $12 and 13 over 28 is what we'll end up with. If you work this one out and come up with that answer right here, then you're doing well. All right, this is going to wrap up for right now. What I'm going to do with the fractions, I'll try to come back later and put together some subtraction problems for us with unlocked denominators in a later video.